We spent most of the afternoon watching the news and looking out our window where we could see thousands of people walking up from the site of the attack, all looking dazed and confused, and we could see smoke from the building still. And later that afternoon, we decided that it was probably best for us to leave Manhattan because we just didn't know what was going to happen after that. My parents had a house on the Jersey Shore, so we decided that we were going to make our way to a commuter ferry boat that we used to take back and forth every day. And so we walked downtown, not too far from where the towers were, through a lot of the smoke with all the sirens blaring, and went to the pier and waited for one of the commuter boats to come back to pick us up. And I think what struck me the most that day was the number of boats that were pulling up to the pier to help people leave the island of Manhattan. I'll never forget, I often tell my girlfriend, my wife now, that it was like a modern day Dunkirk. There were so many commuter boats, commercial fishing boats, personal craft just pulling up to the pier, loading people onto the boats and taking them off the island. And we were all up on the top deck, just watching as we pulled away from Manhattan, the smoke and the fire, and it was a pretty traumatic scene that certainly we'll never forget. And then what I remember is getting home to the Jersey Shore, pulling up to the pier there, and the line of people who were just waiting in the parking lot. And clearly they had been there all day, looking for their loved ones to return from Manhattan. And you could see that their faces were lit up with optimism as folks disembarked. And we were one of the last folks off the boat, and you could just tell the devastation that their loved one was not on that boat. And I don't think I'll ever forget that. And where I spent most of my childhood on the Jersey Shore, it's actually one of the places where it had the largest per capita loss of life. It was just devastated, the number of people who worked in the towers and lived at the Jersey Shore. And I think it's really changed that community a lot. On our anniversary every year, we pause and reflect on September 11th because even though it will now be 20 years, it still feels like something that happened just yesterday. And we also celebrate because we celebrate the fact that that was, for us, a day of love, of family, of community, and I think that's important as well.